What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a 2007 mixtape by Twista. Basically, this product is called The Black Jason of Rap, and it came out in the fall of 2007. So the thing about this particular project, is this is a pretty low budget, low key type project, but it definitely has some excellence about it. I would definitely have to say it's a good pitch. Twista dropped an album in mid late 2007 called Adrenaline Rush 2007. I'm going to get to that one down the road, but I definitely want to get to this project because I really haven't listened to it. I saw it on Wikipedia, kind of question about the quality of this particular product, just wondering about it. So the thing about it is it's not available for download as far as those pitches going to happen. I'm not sure if it was ever on DatPiff, but it was available for purchase. So I purchased it a few months ago. Just had it in the pipeline as far as getting towards it. So I wanted to get towards this particular one just to see what it's about. And luckily it is. I'm glad that this turned out to be an excellent type product here. Just some real blistering type of PL, real quality type. And this, the aspect behind it seems like this was made in 2007. This is not something that was made in like 2004, 2005, just leftovers from like the pitch behind it. This was something, although I do want to say, despite the fact that this came out in November 2007, it seems more like it was made like in the summer or spring, probably like the summer or so, just probably within the opening months before Adrenaline Rush 2007 came out in like September that year. As far as those pitches kind of happen, was just within the aspect. It's an interesting type pitch because Twista had some throw around money to kind of get towards putting this particular product out in addition to dropping an album. The thing about it is there's 10 songs in this mixtape here. There's 18 songs on the CD. You can like I was saying, you can purchase the CD, but there's 8 skits on here and things like that. Twista speaks and intros, outros, some of those type things, but narrows it down to 10 songs. Out of those 10 songs, I wound up recommending 8. So it's a pretty excellent type pitch. The only 2 songs I don't recommend on here would just be The Struggle and then The Bomb. Basically, The Struggle is kind of one. This is an okay type song. It's not like a full-blown awful song. Kind of reminds me of something like Push Your Wig Back, some of those type pitches. It's kind of 3-6 Mafia type creepiness within a sense. It's a little bit more homely type one. Kind of feels like an in-between type song of something that like Tech 9, 3-6 Mafia, some of those type folks would have done in like the mid-2000s pitches like that, but it just didn't have as much affability as normal, and I'd say just within the tone behind it wasn't as affable as normal. And then The Bomb was just kind of an awkward type one on here as well. The song The Bomb on this particular product kind of felt like a more low budget type version of like Piggy Bank by 50 Cent off the Massacre. Just had that same random kind, I mean, maybe not as electro as that particular song Piggy Bank, but definitely the relative type thump and just jarringness of that particular song just kind of reminded me of it. But it just was not as affable as far as particularly getting that. But yeah, so I would say 8 songs out of 10 on this particular mixtape. I'm going to go ahead and give this mixtape like a 9.25 out of 10 just to be able to say it's real blissful. It's pretty blisteringly excellent. But the thing to know about this product is just the fact that the budget is lower. It's just kind of the concept. I want to say that Twista was probably worth at least 5, 6, 7, 8 million back in 2007. I don't think he was worth like 15 and 20 million like other folks. Like probably like, you know, Lil Wayne was probably worth like 20, 30 million back in 2007. Birdman was definitely probably worth like 40 million, something like that. I think Twista was at least easily like a millionaire in 2007. I just don't think he had. It's not like he wouldn't have had the money to be able to put out a mixtape and throw like, you know, 5,000, 10,000 bucks towards some of these beats on here. But it's just kind of the concept that the budget's a little bit lower compared to Adrenaline Rush 2007. It's not like it matters, but I don't think there's a single off this particular project. But I would have to say the quality of it's pretty damn good. I'd have to say. So a real nice one on here would be Knock That Nigga Out. It's like a hell of a head trip, kind of residential turn up about this particular one. Definitely some smoke good, kind of social enjoy to kind of get here. This one, yeah, Knock That Nigga Out, just feels like one of those ones where your head would be ringing, where you're just smoking extremely well as far as those pitch can happen. Just real excellent type one. There's a number of songs on here that have the Speed Not Mobsters on here. The thing about this album is I do own this album just to kind of show it. Just to kind of say this album right here, but it doesn't really so much as showcase like the concepts of the guest rappers on here. And the album, the CD information doesn't really say it either, but there are some guest rappers on here. I'm assuming it's the Speed Not Mobsters just within the pitch. But yeah, XO is a pretty nice one. It's like a murky kind of nightclub hitter, I'd say, about this one. Local kind of vanilla laid out noise to kind of get here. Good dance tune to kind of get, and it's like some factory kind of buzz to kind of have. So it's just pretty nice one to kind of have, just some good aspects. Do you like some of these more localized type appeals? I just would have to say some of these type ones, this is a pretty social type project just to be able to get a lot of these. It's really like the aspect of a lot how some of these kind of go, like XO, Get Low, Knock That Nigga Out, Pop, some of these type ones just have some good overall buzz type noise, probably more so, maybe not full blown more so, but just within the aspect of just being a little bit more kind of just, if you do want some house party type crazes and more hole in the wall type bops to kind of get just within the relative dance noise and just pitches like that, more low key kind of strip club type noises. I feel like this is some pretty good stuff here. Two Times for My Nigga is a pretty nice one as well. This probably has one of my more favorite beats on this product. I would say it's like like an eerie but kind of jivey club thump about this particular song. Nice autumn dance music to kind of get here, and it's like a low key snap about this one. So yeah, this album does, it's not as full blown like when you think of the Black Jason Voorhees. It's not as full blown like a horrorcore type product, but I do like a lot of this murkiness about this particular product. It's just very low key, just the misty kind of foggy autumn evening as far as those pitches kind of having just some good stuff. This a little bit more is kind of grassroots than compared to Twista and like some of his album type quality. It's an interesting concept kind of get him where he's more hungry and just with more buzz type songs. I do like the appeal behind this project. So yeah, Pop Pop is a nice one as well. It's like a cagey and sleek kind of night venue thump about this particular one. It's like a darker kind of dance club hit, I'd have to say, and this reeks of like 2000s flavor to kind of get here. So it's just an excellent type concept. This just feels like some of that production type fare that you'd get on like a Warning intro on like a DVD when it talks about copyrights and pitches like that. Just some good early 2000s, mid 2000s type thump to kind of get here. Just good aspect behind it. It's kind of standard kind of nightclub. It's not so much cheesy, but just the concept, just really 2000s flavor, just like the aspect behind it. It's not like it's in a bad way. It's a good thump of one to kind of get here. Definitely some good blistering type ones. Obviously, you know, there's songs from Twista from 2007, like when you think that the song he did with Pharrell, which I forget what that song was called, like That Girl Gonna, oh yeah, Give It Up. Give It Up's a pretty nice one from Adrenaline Rush 2007, and then Pimp Like Me is a real pounding type one. Some of those type ones off that particular album, and Creep Fast with T-Pain, some of those type ones just have obviously, you know, more blistering, glossy type production. But this is some good stuff here. Just gonna get a lot of these, but. So this being else, say Push Your Wig Back's a nice one as well. It's like a creeping kind of night commune. I'd have to say about this. Vintage kind of hood twisted just to get it here. It's like some vintage kind of hood twisted to kind of get here. Definitely some twisted damage within that aspect. And it's like a smoke and like the night skies and air kind of pitch to kind of get just within that tone. It's a good aspect for that. Just this one along with like, I feel like Push Your Wig Back along with songs like Get the Yayo and some of those type ones, and to a lesser extent The Struggle kind of has some of that more night traverse just within the pitch. Go pick up some frozen burritos, some Chex Mix, some of those good type stuff, corn nuts, some of that type pitch to kind of get there. Good aspect. Get the Yayo is a nice one as well. It's like a woozy kind of evening sludge, I'd have to say about this one. Just a creeping kind of residential weaving to kind of get here, just kind of out and about in like the night commerce, just city hop pitches like that, a residential bound, I'd have to say. Supplies run some of that type of stuff. Supplies run pitches like that, picking up condoms, picking up burritos, picking up some of that type fare, just picking up Swisher, some of that good stuff as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just good, excellent type fare, standard typical typeness, just again like some night commerce, getting some gas, some of those type tones just within the pitch behind, and this is a feel good type tune to kind of get here to some good pitches. So yeah, the overall like the aspect just how some of these type flares going to happen just within the tone behind it. This excellent typeness just to be able to get. Holding's a pretty nice one as well. It's like a swaggering kind of evening groove about this particular one. This reminds me of Creep Fast with T-Pain on there, just without T-Pain on this particular song. It's very similar to that type fashion. It's some good concepts there. It's like a basic kind of hangout and marinate type song to kind of get here. This one's just kind of more, it kind of has like some of that social pizzazz of being like a club number, but just not quite as sparkly, and overall it's like dance ready as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just a basic kind of groove and foot tapper to kind of have. Maybe the PlayStation's on, some pitches like that, just smokes in the air, some of those type tones, football games on, some of those type pitches, just being able to say just within the tone behind it, Jackass, some of those type tones, just being able to say. Good, excellent type fare for that. Get Low is a quality one as well. It's like a buzzing kind of residential noise about this particular one. The reason why my voice is so shaky is because there's some cooking going on in the other rooms, I'd have to say, but I look after it. It's like a good kind of house party percolate bop to kind of get here, I'd have to say, and it's like a general kind of social motion kind of get about this one, so it's just good concept for that. Yeah, it's another percolate type one. This kind of goes well with like Pop Pop, I'd have to say, and probably EXO. Just not quite as feral as like those two songs, but definitely like a good buzz type song just to be able to say just some basic kind of get things started, just good kickstarter, just to be able to have just some basic kind of good initial kind of turn up vanilla type tune to kind of get here. Just roll. It has some nice social groove about it, I'd have to say, within some of the tones of some of these. So I think I covered every single song off this product that I recommend. I just would have to say just within the tone behind it, talked about Push Your Wig Back, Pop Pop, Get the AO, Holding, some of these top ones, XO, yeah. So I just would have to say, talk about these songs on here. So this mixtape gets a 9.25 out of 10. Now I do almost feel on the fence about the song The Struggle. This really feels like something Tech Nine or Master P or Tupac would kind of do in like those in-between type moments for just more homely but still kind of city hop, just kind of residential type fare in like an evening sense of just after the makeshift type fare. But I don't know if it's just enough of one that I would full blown have the pitch behind recommending. At this particular stage, I don't even know if I would be on the fence about it. But if I were, I would say yeah, this mixtape would probably get a 10 out of 10. But 9.25 is nothing to really be upset about just within that pitch. That's 9.25. The social score I'll go ahead and give. I'll give the social score like a 9.5 out of 10 because I feel like the tone behind it is definitely some pretty excellent type stuff on here. There's plenty of good social moments about this project, plenty of good step out, just hole in the wall type places, hole in the wall type strip clubs, hole in the wall type bars and night venues, pitches like that, just some good dance clubs, some of that type fare, just in the residential type sense. The budget is lower. It's just the concept. This basically Twista, his rapid, fast delivery with like speed knot mops, just some of those type pitches, just in a more lower budget and just kind of more localized and just kind of grassroots type appeal just than pitch, just a more hungry and just kind of more static type twist to kind of get. So obviously, if you come to this project from Adrenaline Rush 2007 or some of his later albums and pitches like that, it just doesn't have like, it's not to say Twist didn't have the money, but this is a more hungrier kind of more this kind of like cagier type twist to kind of get here, and there's no problem with that. I just look after it. It's a good aspect, but just that particular factor on top of the fact that there's not really a single off this product, I just would have to say that's kind of the tone behind it as far as saying that it just kind of feels like I mean I realize, but the fact that there's not a single about it just kind of depicts whether or not that it would have much commotion. But yeah, definitely fuck with this YouTube channel that I've got here. Fuck with some of these Twister reviews in the playlist, just being able to say, because I just don't know how many full-blown folks realize about this project. I mean, really, Amazon barely knew about this project. It's just kind of the pitch behind it. They didn't have like tons of this particular album, and it's not commonly talked about. It's not on Rate Your Music, some of those type places. So it's just kind of the tone, just being able to say it's not as frequent knowledge. I just would have to say, but it is worth the investment, definitely just in a more lower type budget and more just static type appeal. But yeah, I'd say in terms of the future, like Twista put out a project at least in 2021, something like that. He dropped like a project called Summer of '96, some of those type fairs. There's plenty more Twista to get to. I'm going to get to another Speed Not Mobsters projects and pitches like that, and there are some other ones. I'll just look for more secret projects like these, but there are some ones like Adrenaline Rush 2007 I'm going to get to. So this is pretty damn near on the cusp of being like a classic. It's not really like it isn't a classic. It's a virtual classic. Just being able to say it has some blistering kind of low key type appeal that works extremely well.